Hello and welcome to Life Happens, Let's Fix It. Today I'm going to be showing you my Wanigan, and you may be asking the same thing I did. What is a Wanigan? So recently I went on a canoe trip down the Savannah River, and I've got a video coming up to show that trip. But in preparation for that, the buddy of mine that's planning the trip mentioned that he was building a Wanigan. And so I went and looked it up. And sure enough, it's a thing. It's basically a box that you can use to carry your supplies on your canoe. And so in this video today, I'm going to walk through building my Wanigan. But just to give you a preview, this is it. It's basically a box, the lid. And the way my lid's constructed is to keep all the seams off the top, because when it rains, and it did, you don't want water getting into your Wanigan. So, and then of course you can put whatever you want on the inside of the lid. So I chose to put a chessboard, checkerboard, and it's also made with runners on the bottom for a couple reasons. One, if there's any water in the bottom of the canoe, you don't want your box sitting directly in the water, so this kind of gets it up off the bottom a little bit. And then also you don't want sharp corners digging into your canoe. So I've got kind of a curved edge here to make that so it doesn't rub on the canoe. And of course handles on the side, and those are angled. I don't know if you can see, angled so you can grab them with a hand. And also I used bungee cords to keep the lid on. And then on the inside, I've got the sliding drawer, as you see, and the drawer also comes out, or the tray, and you've got some deep storage inside. I constructed this out of 3/4 inch and 1/4 inch plywood scraps that I had laying around the shop. So it's not too heavy. It's about 12 inches by 22 inches, and so kind of a good size where you can carry it with stuff in it. It's not too heavy and fits nicely in the canoe. So if you want to see how I built my Wanigan, then continue watching and let's get into it. So off camera I have cut my pieces to size. The ends are 3/4 inch plywood and the sides and bottom are 1/2 inch plywood. And now I've got it temporarily dry fit in place so I can drill my pilot holes with a counter bore and get those lined up before I add the glue. It's just a lot going on, and I found that if I go ahead and pre-drill the holes, that's one less thing to worry about, and it really helps get things lined up easier when I go to add the glue. If you've made it this far into the video, I hope that you like what you're seeing. So if you would, hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And smash that like button and let me know that you like this content. I appreciate it, and it would help me out tremendously. And I thank you for watching and for supporting my channel. Now I'm ready to glue it up. So I'm using Titebond 3, which is waterproof and has a little bit longer working time, and I'm making sure to put this on nice and liberally. Again, we want this box to be waterproof since we're going to be using it in our canoe on the water. So just going around, putting the glue on all the edges, and then putting 1.25 inch screws into my pre-drilled holes. Next, I took a moist sponge and cleaned up all the glue squeeze out on the inside and the outside. And you want to make sure you do this because with plywood, the veneer is very thin and it's tricky to clean up the glue afterwards. So take a little time and get it cleaned up real good. And let it dry, and after that, it'll be time to attach the bottom. And same thing, put some glue around the top, and again, put on plenty. We're just going to clean it up when we're done, so you want to make sure you got a good glue joint there. And I've got a little silicone brush that I use to spread the glue around, and then we'll just attach the bottom. To secure the long edge of the bottom to the sides of the box, I used a nail gun, and that's because it's 1/2-inch plywood on the sides, so it didn't have quite the width that I did on the end. So if you'll notice where all the screws are is going into the 3/4 inch thick plywood that I have on the ends, and that's just to give a better, more secure joint. And then just use 1.5-inch nails on the side. And then before setting aside to dry, grab the sponge again and cleaned up all the glue squeeze out. Now it's time to build the tray that will sit inside the box. And here I'm cutting some runners that will mount to the inside of the box for the tray to sit on and to be able to slide back and forth. And these will be the sides of the tray that we'll put together. And here I'm taking 2 pieces of the 1/2-inch plywood and measuring, so that'll represent the 2 sides, and then I'm measuring to cut the length of the piece in the middle and leaving about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch gap, just so the box fits down in there nicely. Now that we have all the pieces cut for our tray, we can just put a little glue and grab our nail gun and just put it together nice and quick, nice and easy. This was a fun little mini project in the project. I like putting boxes together. When you're putting the bottom on a box, always make sure you get one side square and then check the others for square before you put in that second side of nails. Use your square bottom to make sure the entire box is square. And then, of course, wipe off any glue squeeze out. And the tray is done. All All right, now it's time to mount the supports or runners that this tray will slide on. And I just took the approach of setting my box flush with the top and then holding my rail in place and making a mark. And then just do the same thing on the other side. And then I'll have my guides for gluing and nailing the slides or the rails in place. No measurement needed, or I should say no measuring tape needed. And just make sure you get the right size nail so that you don't blow out the side of your box. So I grabbed some 3/4 inch nails here that left me enough clearance to get the rail securely mounted but not go through the side of the box. And then I'm just going to glue those in place, and the nails will basically hold the rail in place until the glue dries. And with both rails glued and nailed in place, now we can give our tray a test drive and see if it works. Now for the lid, I just cut out some 3/4 inch plywood for the top and 1/2 inch plywood for the sides, and put those together. It's basically the same operations as I did for the tray, so I didn't show this on camera. But what I will show is how I added a chessboard / checkerboard to the inside of the top lid. So once I get these pieces all cut out, we'll go in and show you how I did that. So for the checkerboard, I just grabbed some green frog tape, which worked out to be the perfect width, and just laid out the strips and got my utility knife and cut out the squares that I wanted to stain black. And then just grabbed some, I think that's espresso stain from Minwax, and just dabbed it on there. I just did one coat. Again, this is just enough to, just need enough color to show where to put your playing pieces. And so that's what I did, and stained it on, let it sit for just a few minutes, and then peeled the tape off. I think the checkerboard chessboard turned out really nice and should provide a lot of fun gaming on our trips. Off camera, I added the handles on the sides and the runners on the bottom using pre-drilled countersunk screws, 1¼ inch exterior screws, and 3 coats of poly on everything inside and out.